Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into a topic that's close to the heart of many locals and fascinating for visitors: pub culture in Australia. Pubs in Australia aren't just places, they are social hubs, community centres, and sometimes even the unofficial town hall. In this video we are going to explore how pub culture in Australia is unique, how it compares to other countries, and why it's such a big part of the Aussie way of life. So stick around till the end, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you've had your own pub stories or funny encounters, drop them in the comments because I'd love to hear them. Now let's pull up a bar stool and get into it. The Aussie pub. More than just beer. When someone hears the word pub, they might think of the British version. Dark wood dim lighting, a bit of history in the air, maybe some darts in the corner. In Australia though, pubs are lighter, bigger and more like the living room of the town. They are where families go for a meal, mates catch up after work, and where locals often gather to celebrate or commiserate life's events. And don't worry, it's not just about drinking. You'll find people eating chicken parmigiana, the pub classic, playing the pokies, watching the footy on massive screens, or even coming in for a Sunday roast. A brief history of Aussie pubs. The pub culture came over with the British in the 1800s, but like everything else in Australia, it got a local twist. Back then, pubs were often the first businesses in a new town. In fact, if a settlement had only 2 buildings, chances are one of them was a pub. Unlike in the UK, Australian pubs grew larger, often with big outdoor beer gardens. This makes sense given the climate. You don't want to be stuck inside a dark room when you can enjoy a pint under the sun with gum trees swaying nearby. Beer. The national conversation starter, beer is at the centre of Aussie pub culture. But here's the twist: unlike the UK with its warm ales or Germany with its giant steins, Aussies love their cold beer served in a very specific size. And yes, depending on the state, the size names change. A pot in Victoria is a middy in New South Wales, which might be a schooner elsewhere. Confusing? Absolutely. But ask an Aussie and they'll swear their state got it right. This quirky naming system is part of the charm. It's almost like a secret code. If you walk into a pub and order the wrong size for that state, locals will instantly know you're an outsider. Food and the pub grub culture. One of the biggest differences between Australian pubs and those overseas is the food. In the UK you might get fish and chips. In the US it's wings and burgers. In Australia it's pub classics. Chicken parmigiana or just parma. Fish and chips. Steak night specials. Lamb shanks. And the famous Sunday roast. Many Aussie pubs are family-friendly, with kids running around in the beer garden while the parents enjoy a drink. That family vibe sets Australian pubs apart from many other countries, where pubs are more strictly adult only. Entertainment. More than just drinking. If you thought Aussie pubs were just about drinking beer, think again. Entertainment is huge. Live music. Pubs often double as music venues, giving a start to countless bands. Trivia nights. A staple for midweek fun. Karaoke. Depending on how much courage the patrons have, this can be brilliant or hilariously terrible. Sports watching. If there's an AFL game, cricket match or rugby, the pub becomes an unofficial stadium. This makes pubs in Australia very different from, say, pubs in Japan, where drinking is usually more business-related, or in Germany, where it's centered around beer halls with massive communal tables. The social side. Community at the core. Here's the key difference. Aussie pubs are community hubs. They sponsor local footy teams, host fundraisers, and sometimes even hold weddings or wakes. In country towns, the pub is the beating heart of the community. Compare this to the US, where bars can be more individualistic, or to Europe, where pubs might be steeped in centuries-old traditions, but less about being a community centre. In Australia, the pub is often where you meet your neighbours, where deals are made, and where friendships are formed. The beer garden. A very Aussie thing. The beer garden deserves its own spotlight. This is where Aussies shine. Unlike British pubs with cosy fireplaces, Aussie pubs embrace the outdoors. Picture wooden tables, fairy lights, kids running around, smokers off in their own corner, and dogs sometimes lounging under tables. It's casual, it's laid back, and it feels like an extension of the Aussie backyard. Pub etiquette. Things you should know. Every culture has rules and pubs are no different. In Australia, you buy rounds for your mates. If someone buys you a drink, you're expected to return the favour. No tipping required. Staff don't expect it, unlike in the US. You order at the bar. No table service unless it's a bistro setup. Don't try to argue about the footy team with a local after too many schooners. That's a losing battle. Cultures. The comparisons. UK. British pubs are older and steeped in tradition, while Australian pubs are larger, brighter, and more community-focused. US. American bars often focus on cocktails, shots, and nightlife vibes. Australian pubs are more relaxed, less about clubbing and more about casual mateship. Germany. Beer halls are grand and steeped in centuries of beer-making tradition, but Aussie pubs are more mixed use. Eat, drink, watch sport, play pokies, and bring the family. Asia. In countries like Japan or Korea, pubs and bars are linked with afterwork culture. In Australia, it's not about hierarchy or business, it's about mateship and relaxation. The pokies. The controversial side. No story about Australian pubs is complete without mentioning the pokies slot machines. Many pubs make a big chunk of revenue from them. Some people love them, some hate them, but they are part of the scene. You won't find this level of gaming culture in UK pubs, for example. Funny pub stories and stereotypes. Here's the lighter side. Aussies love arguing over whether the parma should be served with chips on the side or underneath. Every town claims their pub serves the best steak. Spoiler alert, they all say that. Some pubs still have those country characters. The local who seems permanently welded to the bar stool and knows everyone's business. Why this video matters: understanding pub culture in Australia isn't just about knowing where to grab a beer. It's about understanding community mateship and a slice of Aussie lifestyle that's very different from elsewhere. Whether you're new to Australia visiting or just curious, stepping into a pub is like stepping into the social DNA of the country. And hey, if you've got your own pub stories, let me know in the comments. Did you survive a trivia night? Get lost in the beer size names? Or maybe you tried your first parma and now you're hooked. So remember to subscribe, like, and share this video to keep the channel growing. Cheers!